situation that's going on right now. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl. It sounded like they were fighting over drugs. And they started shooting. But the house needs to be investigated. They're definitely doing illegal stuff over there.
The woman is charged with transmitting a false public alarm. She's scheduled to have her first appearance at noon today. Police put out a public call earlier this week asking for the voice of the woman who made those 911 calls to be identified. Well, tonight the GBI is labeling the death of Atlanta rapper Young Scooter as an in-custody death. His real name is Kenneth Edward Bailey, originally from Walterboro, South Carolina.
Y'all, the story around Young Scooter's death just took a crazy turn, and it's way deeper than we first thought. At first, people thought it was just a tragic accident, but now it's looking like a setup. A leaked 911 call is out, and it's exposing the truth. The woman who made that call? Demetria Spence. And let me tell you, she didn't sound scared. Not one bit. No panic, no stress, like she had it all planned out. She told the dispatcher there was a woman bleeding, a baby involved, and a black man attacking her. Then she threw in the word gunshots. Now, y'all already know, when someone calls the cops and says black man and gunshots, it sets a dangerous tone real fast. It sounds like she wanted the cops to show up ready for war. But when Scooter ran instead of fighting back, he still ended up dead. And the worst part? Demetria sat there and watched the internet blame the police. All while knowing the truth. She didn't say a word, just let the world spin the story, knowing it wasn't even close to what really happened. Before we get deeper into this mess, let's remember who we're talking about. Young Scooter, one of Atlanta's realest rappers. He'd been grinding since 2008. The story around Young Scooter's death just took a crazy turn to his people, and it's way deeper than we first thought. But here's the wildest part. People thought it was just Scooter didn't die from a bullet, but now it's looking like a setup. He bled out from a leg injury. 911 call is out. Yeah, you heard that right. Exposing the truth. It sounds like some Final Destination movie type of Demetria Spence. And let me tell you, running in the first place, she didn't sound scared. That's when things start getting real. No panic, no stress. All signs point back to Demetria. She had it all planned out. And that 911 call. She told the dispatcher there was a woman bleeding, rewind. A baby March involved, 28th, and a black man attacking her. 911. Then she threw in the word gunshots. She opens her mouth. Now, y'all already know something's off. When someone calls the cops she talks and says, the details she throws in, it just doesn't sound real. It sets a dangerous tone real fast. It sounds like she wanted the cops to show up ready for war. But when Scooter ran instead of fighting back, he still ended up dead. And the worst part, Demetria sat there. Scooter takes off running and hops a fence, then another. All while knowing when a tragedy strikes, he gets caught up on some fencing material, suffers a deep cut to his thigh, and knowing it wasn't even close to what really happened.
The only injury mentioned by APD was to Young Scooter's leg. They say he fell after jumping over a couple of fences.
He'd been grinding since 2008. Demi disappears. In the game. No reaction. True to his no emotion. And now he's gone. Checking on Scooter. But here's the wildest part. She didn't ask if he was okay. Scooter didn't die from a bullet. Didn't even look like she cared. He bled out from a leg injury. It's like she just wiped her hands clean and let the police come in. Yeah, you heard that right. And tell whatever story they wanted. Some Final Destination movie here's where everything starts falling apart for her. But because the second that 911 call leaked online, that's when things start getting real. People could feel something was suspicious. The internet all wasted no time. To Demetria. Social media turned into a crime scene investigation. Let's rewind. And the more people listened to that call, Demetria the more it felt like Demi was hiding something. From the second she opens her mouth. Let's be real. You can tell something wasn't adding up at all. The way she talks, one person the details she throws in, it just doesn't sound real. The female is lying. It sounds planned. She called out a spite and wanted him around Young Scooter's death. Now he's dead. Took a crazy turn. Sad. And it's way deeper than we first thought. Different. At first, people thought it was just why did she call in the first place? But now it's looking like a woman was bleeding 911 call. When the police got there was no woman hurt. Exposing the truth. She said there was a woman who made that call, but no baby was found. Spence. No signs of a child. She didn't sound scared. And then she said she heard gunshots. No panic. But the police already confirmed that no one fired it all planned out. Not a single dispatcher. There was a woman bleeding. Everyone's side-eyeing involved, and a black man. What was really going on in her head? Then she threw in the word trying to make happen that night. Now,
but
y'all already
what's
know,
really
when
chilling,
someone calls
the
the
way
cops
she spoke
and
on the
says
call,
black man
she didn't
and
sound like
gunshots,
someone going through
a dangerous
real
tone
emergency
real fast.
She wasn't
It
crying.
sounds like she wanted the
She
cops
wasn't
to show up
freaking
ready
out.
for war.
She wasn't
But
rushing
when
her
Scooter
words
ran
like
instead of
someone
fighting
who
back,
just saw something
he
horrible.
still ended up dead.
Nah, she was
and
calm.
the worst part,
way too
Demetria
calm.
sat there
like she had
and
practiced
watched
what
the
to
internet
say.
blame the police.
Like she knew exactly
all
how
while
to
knowing
sound
the truth.
just scared enough.
She
without
didn't say a
giving herself
word.
away.
Just let
There's
the world
a
spin the
situation
story.
going on at this house.
Knowing
There's
it wasn't
7
even
guys
close
that
to
live
what
here,
really
and they're
happened.
basically, I'm not
Before
sure
we
if they're
get
running
deeper into
some
this
type of.
mess, let's remember
This
who we're talking
individual,
about.
she's a 5'2",
Young
light-skinned
Scooter,
female,
one of
black hair.
Atlanta's
She
realest
ran
rappers.
outside naked.
He'd been grinding
from her
since
fa-
2008.
Word in the streets
built
is
respect
this
in the
whole
game,
thing between
stayed
Demi
true
and
to
Scooter
his people.
didn't come out of nowhere.
And now he's gone.
People are saying
But
there
here's
was
the
serious
wildest
tension
part.
between them even
Scooter
before
didn't die from
all
a
this
bullet.
went down.
Nah,
the details
he bled
are
out
still
from a
kind
leg
of blurry,
injury, but
after
it's sounding
hopping a
like
fence.
Demi had it out for him.
Yeah, you heard that
And
right.
let's not forget,
It sounds like she
some
was the
Final
one who
Destination
called
movie type of
911 and
freak
dropped his
accident.
name.
But
that wasn't
why was
no
he
random
running in the
panic
first
move.
place?
Nah,
That's when things
she
start
knew
getting
exactly
real,
what she was
suspicious.
doing. She knew
All
if she told
signs
the
point
cops
back
there
to
was a
Demetria,
violent black man
and that
involved,
911
they'd
call.
pull up deep.
Let's rewind.
Probably already thinking
March
the worst.
28th.
And
Demetria
Scooter
calls
he wasn't
911.
done. He knew
From the
how
second she
situations
opens her
like
mouth,
that could go.
You can
That's
tell something's
why he
off.
ran.
The
The
way
way
she
she
talks,
save his
the
life.
details she
But
throws
now
in,
people
it just
online
doesn't
are
sound
saying
real.
it feels like
It sounds
Demi wanted
planned.
him out the picture
Y'all,
altogether.
the story
So
around
after
young
the
Scooter's
whole internet
death
started
just took
dragging
a
her,
crazy turn.
Demi
And
finally
it's way
went
deeper
live
than we
to
first
clear
thought.
her name.
At first,
And
people
y'all
thought it was
a
just
joke.
a tragic accident.
Straight up weak.
But now it's
She
looking
started
like a
off
setup.
by calling
a
everyone
leaked
trolls
911
and saying
call
people
is
were
out.
lying on her without
And
knowing
it's
the full
exposing the
story.
truth.
But
The
come
woman
on,
who made
we
that
all
call,
heard the 911
Demetria
call with our
Spence.
own ears.
And let me tell
what
you,
else do we need to know?
she didn't sound scared.
The truth is
not
already
one bit.
out there. No
Then
panic.
she claimed
no
she was
stress,
just trying to protect
like she
herself.
had it all planned out.
But when people asked
she told the
who she was
dispatcher there
protecting
was a
herself
woman
from
bleeding,
silence,
a baby involved.
she wouldn't say a
and
name,
a black man
wouldn't give
attacking
details,
her.
just
then
kept
she
it super
threw
vague.
in the word gunshots.
Like, if you were really
now,
in danger,
y'all already know.
wouldn't you be
when
shouting
someone
it
calls
loud?
the cops and
Wouldn't
says
you want
black
people to know
man
what
and
happened?
gunshots?
But instead,
it sets a dangerous
Demi's acting
tone
like
real
she's the
fast.
one who got hurt.
It sounds like she wanted
Like
the cops
she's
to
the
show up
victim
ready
in
for
all
war.
this. But when
And
Scooter
let's be
ran
honest,
instead of fighting
nobody's
back,
falling for that.
he still ended
but
up
here's
dead.
where it gets real.
And the worst part,
even though Demi's
Demetria
trying to
sat
play
there
innocent
and
she's
watched the
already
internet
in
blame
legal
the
trouble.
police.
She
All
got
while
arrested
knowing
for
the
making
truth.
a false public alarm.
She didn't say a word.
That's right.
Just
The
let the
police
world
know
spin the
she
story.
lied.
Knowing
And
it wasn't
since that
even
lie
close
is what
to
led
what
to
really
Scooter
happened.
running and getting hurt.
Before we get
a lot
deeper
of people
into this
feel
mess,
like she
let's
should
remember
be facing more
who we're talking
serious
about.
charges.
Young
Because
Scooter,
when police
one of
found
Atlanta's
Scooter on the
realest
other side of that
rappers,
fence,
he'd been
he had a
grinding
leg
since
injury.
2008.
No gunshots,
built respect
no
in the
fight,
game,
just him bleeding out
stayed
alone.
true to his
and
people.
if she hadn't made
And
that
now
call,
he's gone.
He'd still
But
be alive
here's the
today.
wildest part. Let that sink in.
Scooter didn't die from
On
a bullet.
top of all that,
there's even
he bled
video
out
from a
evidence
leg injury
of
after
Demi
hopping a
basically
fence.
exposing herself.
Yeah, you heard that
Like
right.
she's been following
It sounds
Scooter
like some
around,
Final
making
Destination
threats,
movie type
acting
of
shady,
freak accident.
and people have been
But
noticing.
why was he running
This
in the
wasn't
first
some
place?
random moment.
That's when
She
things
had been
start
on
getting
weird
real
energy for weeks.
suspicious.
So check
all
this
signs
out.
point
The
back
court
to
gave
Demetria
Demi a
and that $7,500
$7,500
bond.
Let's
and
rewind.
people are not having it.
March 28th.
Like seriously,
Demetria calls
$7,500 for a
from the
fake
second she opens her
911
mouth.
call that ended
You
with
can
a
tell
man
something's
losing his
off.
life. The way she
That's
talks,
nothing.
the details she
That's what
throws
people
in,
are paying
it just
for a
doesn't
traffic
sound real.
violation or
It sounds
a shoplifting
planned.
charge.
Y'all,
But Demi, the story
she
around
straight up
young
lied,
Scooter's death
made a
just
dangerous
took a
report
crazy
and
turn.
got Scooter running
and it's
for his
way
life.
deeper than we
And now
first
she
thought.
can just walk
At
free
first,
after dropping
people
a few
thought
stacks.
it was just a tragic
Yeah,
accident.
The streets
but
are
now
heated.
it's looking like a
Officers
setup.
located
A
him
leaked
on the other side
911
of the
call
fence.
is out,
He appeared to have
and
suffered
it's exposing
an
the
injury
truth.
to his leg.
The woman
There
who
was
made
no
that call,
indication of anyone being
Demetria,
shot.
to a lot of people,
And let me
it
tell
feels
you,
like a slap on
she
the
didn't
wrist.
sound scared.
Like the system
Not
is saying
one bit.
Scooter's life
No
didn't
panic.
matter.
No
And
stress.
honestly,
Like she had it all
they're not
planned
wrong
out.
for feeling that
She
way.
told the dispatcher
But
there was
Demi
a
might
woman
want to hold
bleeding,
off on the
a
celebration
baby involved,
because
and
here's
a black
where things
man
get
attacking
serious.
her. Then
there's
she
a law in
threw in the
Georgia word
that says if
gunshots.
someone lies
Now,
and it
y'all
leads
already
to
know
serious injury
when
or
someone
death,
calls the cops
they
and
could
says
face
black
major
man
charges
and gunshots.
Not just a fine.
It sets a dangerous
not just a
tone real
warning.
fast. We're talking
It
real
sounds like
prison
she wanted the
time.
cops to show
So
up ready
Demi
for war.
might have dodged the
But
first
when
hit.
Scooter ran,
But if
instead of fighting
prosecutors
back,
decide to push harder,
he still ended up
she's
dead.
far from safe.
And the worst part,
And just when you think the
Demetrius sat
story
there
couldn't get
and
any
watched
more
the
twisted,
internet blame the
here
police.
comes another crazy detail.
All while knowing the truth.
Demi doesn't even live
She
at the
didn't
house
say a
where
word.
all this happened.
Just let the world
According
spin
to the
story.
court papers, knowing it
She
wasn't even
actually
close
lives
to
out
what
in
really
DeKalb
happened.
County.
That's
Before
more
we
than
get
20
deeper
miles
into this
away
mess,
from the spot
let's
on
remember
William, New York
who we're
Drive.
talking about.
So
Young
now
Scooter,
everybody's asking
one of
the same
Atlanta's
question.
realest
What was
rappers.
she even doing there?
He'd been grinding
Was she
since
just
2008.
passing through?
built respect in the game. Did she go there with a plan?
Stayed true to his people.
Because let's be honest,
and now he's
people
gone.
don't just drive
But here's
20
the
plus
wildest
miles
part.
for no reason.
Scooter didn't die
and when
from
you
a
look
bullet.
at all the shady behavior leading
he
up to
bled
this,
out from a leg
it
injury
really makes
after
you
hopping
wonder.
a fence.
Was she really
just
in the wrong
right.
place at the wrong time?
It sounds like some Final
or was
Destination
this
movie
something
type
she had
of
already
freak
mapped
accident.
out? The
But
more info
why
that
was he
drops,
running in the first
the more
place?
sketchy it gets.
That's when things start
People
getting
want real
real
answers now
suspicious.
because too much
All
ain't adding
signs
up.
point back to
And then
Demetria
after Scooter
and
passed,
that 911
things
call.
got even messier.
Let's rewind.
The internet
March
exploded
28th.
with rumors.
Demetria
Everyone was
calls
saying the police
911.
shot him. From the
That
second
the cops
she
were the
opens her
reason
mouth,
he didn't make it.
you can tell
People
something's
were
off.
angry,
The way she
heartbroken,
talks, the
ready to
details she
protest,
throws in,
because
it
from
just
the
doesn't
outside,
sound real.
it looked like
It
another
sounds
case
planned.
of deadly police
Y'all,
force.
the story
Now
around
here's
young
the real
Scooter's
question
death
people
just
keep
took
asking.
a crazy turn.
Was Demi
and
scared
it's way
that night?
deeper than we first
Or
thought.
was she just sitting
At first,
back,
people
enjoying
thought it
the
was
chaos
just a
she
tragic
caused?
accident.
Because
but now
no
it's
matter
looking
what
like
her
a
reason
setup.
was,
A
she let
leaked
the streets blame
911
the
call
wrong
is
people.
out, and
All
it's
while
exposing
sitting on
the
the
truth.
The
She
woman
didn't
who
correct
made that
anyone.
call
Demetria
speak up.
Spence.
She let the
And let me
internet
tell
run
you,
wild.
She didn't
knowing
sound
the real
scared.
story.
Not
and
one
just
bit.
watched it unfold.
No panic.
But
no
here's
stress,
another twist
like
people
she
are
had it
talking
all
about.
planned out.
And this one's
She
getting
told
a lot
the
of
dispatcher
attention.
there was a woman
Was
bleeding,
jealousy part
a
of
baby
it?
involved,
Because y'all,
and a black
young
man
Scooter
attacking
wasn't
her.
just anybody.
Then she threw
He'd
in
been
the
in the
word
rap
gunshots.
game for years.
Now y'all
He came
already
up
know
back in
when
2008,
someone calls the
got
cops
signed
and
to
says
Future's
black
Free Man's
man
label,
and
and by
gunshots.
2012,
it sets a
he
dangerous
was already
tone
putting out
real
hits.
fast. Remember
It
the
sounds
tracks
like
she wanted the
Columbia?
cops to show up ready
That's
for
the
war.
one that really
But
put him
when
on the
Scooter
map.
ran instead
After
of fighting
that,
back,
he started working
he
with
still
Waka
ended up
Flocka's
dead.
Brick Squad
And Thor's
Monopoly,
part, and
Demetria
kept going up.
sat there.
Then in
and
2018,
watched the internet blame the
he linked
police.
up with Future
all
and
while
Juice
knowing
WRLD
the
for
truth.
jet lag.
She didn't say a word.
Scooter had a real
Just
career.
let the world spin
He
the
had
story.
respect, knowing
He
it
had
wasn't even
fans,
close to what really
and
happened.
he stayed repping
Before
Atlanta
we get
the whole
deeper
way.
into this mess,
So now
let's
people
remember
are starting to
who we're
ask,
talking about.
Was
Young
Demi
Scooter,
just another bitter person
one of
in a
Atlanta's
circle?
realest
Was
rappers?
she mad that he
He'd
didn't
been
want her
grinding
around?
since 2008.
Was she jealous of
built
his
respect
success
in the game
because something
stayed
about her
true
that
to his
night
people.
just felt off?
And now he's
the
gone.
energy wasn't right.
But here's
and
the
now,
wildest part:
Scooter's gone.
Scooter didn't
There's
die
another
from a
theory
bullet.
too, and honestly, it makes
he
a
bled
lot of
out
sense.
from a leg injury.
One
after
person
hopping a
on
fence.
social media put it
Yeah,
like this.
you heard that right.
They were fighting.
It sounds like some
She
Final
got put
Destination
out.
movie type
Then
of
she called the
freak
police.
accident. End of
But
story.
why was he running in the
Let's
first
not lie.
place? That doesn't
That's
sound
when
far-fetched
things start
at
getting
all.
real.
We've all seen it
Suspicious.
before. All
A
signs
couple gets
point back
into
to
it.
Demetria.
One of them
and that
gets kicked out.
911 call.
And out of
Let's
pure
rewind.
spite,
Someone
March
picks up the
28th,
phone and calls the
Demetria
cops.
calls
Not because of
911,
real danger,
from
but
the
just to
second
mess
she
up the
opens
other
her
person's
mouth.
night.
You can
What if
tell
that's
something's
exactly
off.
what happened
The
here?
way she talks,
What
the
if
details
Demi
she
and
throws
Scooter had
in,
a fight?
it just doesn't sound
She got
real.
mad.
It
and
sounds
decided
planned.
to hit 911
Y'all,
just to get him caught
the story
up.
around
But
young
instead
Scooter's
of telling
death
the truth,
just took a crazy
she went
turn.
all in,
and it's
saying
way
he hit
deeper
her,
than we first
claiming
thought.
there was a child
At
in
first,
danger.
people thought
Even
it was
lying
just
about
a tragic
gunshots.
accident, but
She
now
knew
it's looking
exactly
like a
what
setup.
kind of response
A
that
leaked
kind of call would
911
bring.
call is
and
out.
the sad part,
and it's
stuff like
exposing
this
the
happens
truth.
all the time.
The woman who made that
People
call
weaponize the police
Demetria
just to
Spence.
hurt someone they're mad
And let me
at.
tell you,
But in this
she
case,
didn't sound
that
scared.
lie didn't just ruin
Not one
Scooter's
bit.
night. No
It ended
panic,
his life.
no stress.
Now, let's
like
be
she
real.
had it all planned out.
Not everyone
She
is
told
waiting
the
for the
dispatcher
justice
there was a
system to
woman
play out.
bleeding.
You
a
know
baby
how the
involved,
streets in Atlanta
and
move.
a black man
And
attacking
Scooter
her.
wasn't just a rapper.
Then she threw in the
He
word
was someone
gunshots.
the city loved.
Now, y'all
People
already
are
know
saying that Demi
when someone calls
might
the
not
cops
just have
and
to deal
says
with the
black
courts
man
and
and
the streets are
gunshots,
watching too.
It sets a dangerous
now, I
tone
know that's
real
a tough
fast.
pill to swallow.
It sounds
but
like
it's
she
something
wanted
worth
the cops
thinking
to
about.
show up ready for
What
war.
if Demi wasn't
But when
just
Scooter
acting
ran
out
instead
of
of fighting
malice?
back,
He
he
still
still
ended
actually
up dead.
caught in a bad
And Thor's
situation
part,
and felt
Demetria
like calling
sat
the
there
cops was her only
and
way
watched
out.
the internet blame
Maybe
the
she wasn't
police.
just playing the victim.
All while knowing
Maybe
the
she was
truth.
experiencing
She
domestic
didn't say a
violence
word
or something
Just
serious
let the world
like that.
spin the story.
Think about it.
Knowing it
What if
wasn't
she
even
panicked
close to what
made
really
that
happened.
911 call?
Before we get
and
deeper into
things
this
just
mess,
spiraled out of
let's
control.
remember who we're
It could
talking
have been a
about.
decision she
Young
made in the
Scooter,
heat of the moment.
one of Atlanta's
not
realest
realizing
rappers.
how badly things
He'd
would
been
play
grinding
out.
since
But
2008.
at the end of the day,
built respect
no
in the
matter
game,
what happened,
stayed true.
the fact
to his
remains
people.
that a life was
and now
lost.
he's gone.
And
But
that's
here's the
tragic,
wildest
no
part.
matter how you spin
Scooter
it.
didn't die
But
from a
now,
bullet.
let's look at what
Nah,
happens
he
next.
bled out from a leg
Demi
injury
might be out
after
on
hopping
bond,
a fence.
but trust me when I
Yeah,
say
you
she's
heard that
far
right.
from being off the
It
hook.
sounds like some
She
Final
still has a
Destination
long
movie
legal
type
battle
of
ahead of her.
freak accident.
If the courts
But
decide to bring
why was he
heavier
running in
charges
the
against
first
her,
place?
things
That's
could get
when
real
things start
ugly
getting
real
real
fast.
suspicious.
And here's the thing.
All signs point back
Scooter's
to
family
Demetria,
and his fans
and that
are not going to
911
just
call.
let this slide.
Let's rewind.
They're demanding justice.
March 28th.
If the legal
Demetria
system doesn't
calls
come through with what they
911.
feel is
From
the right
second
action,
she opens
you already
her
know
mouth,
the streets.
you
and
can
the
tell
internet will
something's
hold
off.
Demi accountable
The way
too.
she talks,
That's
the
the
details
truth.
she throws in,
People
it just
aren't
doesn't
going to let
sound
this
real.
one go.
It sounds
So,
planned.
the story is
Y'all,
far from over.
The story around
the drama
young Scooter's
is death
just heating
just
up.
took a crazy
If you want to
turn,
stay updated
and it's way
keep up
deeper
with
than
everything
we
as
first
it
thought,
unfolds,
at
make Make sure you're subscribed. People thought it was just that tragic accident, but now it's looking like your thoughts in the comments. A leaked 911 call is out. The conversation needs to keep going. The woman who made that call, and we deserve to know what really went down. And let me tell you, R.I.P. to young scooter, and we'll keep pushing for justice. No